Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and our esteemed viewers. You are welcome once again to your insightful program, Democracy and Rule of Law, a program where we delve deep into insightful issues that border on democracy, rule of law, and constitutionalism. We wish our viewers a happy new year. And in today's episode, we want to look at the episode that is ongoing in Edo State, where the governor first suspended the chairman, local government chairman in Edo State, about 18 of them. And when a court ordered that the status quo be maintained, they now resorted to impeachment of those local government chairmen. Already 2 of them have been purportedly impeached. We'll look at that. We'll look at whether it is proper in the circumstances or not. We'll also take a look at Rivers State once again. We're already aware that in Rivers State, the governor has presented a budget to 3-man panel of the House of Assembly. And they have passed the budget. We want to look at whether it is constitutional and proper in the circumstances to be working with only 3-member faction of the Rivers State House of Assembly, or whether something needs to be done. And if so, what ought to be done in circumstances. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll introduce our guest who is already seated. My name is Obi Oraume. Just hold on, don't go away. We'll go on a short break, we'll come back. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, you are on to your favorite program, Democracy and Rule of Law, a program of Galaxy Televisions. I remain your host for today, Barrister Obi Oraume, and here seated in the studio is one of our regular guests, Barrister Deji Olaleye. You are welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here again, and Happy New Year to you and to our viewers.
Thank you very much. Without taking much of our time, I want to look at the drama, the political drama that is playing out in Edo State. We witnessed, an unprecedented scenario where the governor suspended the local government chairman. And when they proceeded to court and got a court order, they now resorted to using councillors to impeach the local government chairman, and 2 of them have already been impeached. Now, what do you have to say concerning the drama going on in Edo State?
Well, thank you very much. I think it's just another outplay of the kind of impunity that we have all been talking about for so many years now, where those who have political responsibility to maintain and to follow the laws of the nation will make up their minds to go outside the law in doing what you can best consider as aberration. It's unfortunate that this is happening in Edo State for a governor that is just coming in. And there had been an attempt by the federal government, as you know, to ensure that there is this separation of powers and this separation of fiscal responsibility between the state and the local government. Of course, the Supreme Court have given that judgment, trying to, give autonomy to the local government in their operations. But not much had been seen because of the overbearing influence of governors who do not want the local government system to work effectively. And it is unfortunate that this drama, this tragic drama, I call it, this comedy of error, is happening at this time. And one would have expected an incoming governor. Well, one can say for political expediency, there is a need for him, maybe the desire for him to have people managing local government that he endorses, or that people that he accepts as local government chairman being in place. But the constitution must be followed. Unfortunately, the constitution is not being followed, and there's flagrant breach of the constitution at this time. And I think there's a need to curb this trend to ensure that we don't have this kind of recurrence across the country. It's a bad precedent that is being set, no doubt.
Yes, I agree with you. There's a bad precedent that has been set. And do you think the governor has any control over local government chairman?
Obviously, the Constitution had made it clear. The Constitution makes provision for a democratically elected local government.
Yes.
And once you are democratically elected, you have a separate responsibility to your local government, while the state has responsibility over the state. But unfortunately, what we are seeing now is the interference of governors in the governance of the local government system. And that interference is why we're having this impunity that is going on now. Unfortunately, when one will say that the councillors in the local government actually have the powers to legislate, to make laws for the local government.
Yes.
Within the ambit of the provision of Section 7
yes.
of the Constitution.
Yes.
Okay. But the idea of going around to impeach a governor and to impeach a local government, an elected representative of the people, a local government governor, the same way you were also elected into the council, is a problem that I think we should address at this time. And constitutionally, we are having a kind of breach of the provisions of the Constitution. As the local government begins to now, what I have in mind, what I'm saying is that it looks as if the influence of the governor is beginning to now disrupt the operations of the local government with this new trend that we're having now in Edo State.
Yes, you see, I agree with you that there's need to curb what amounts to breaches of the Constitution and violations of the clear doctrines of federalism.
Yes.
We operate a three-tier system of government, the federal, the state, and the local government.
Yes.
And in Lagos State, in the past, the governor, attempted to suspend the local government chairman. Yes. And we said, no, that is not constitutional, it's not proper. And then that is being repeated in Edo State. And then the Edo State governor was equally made to understand that what he has done is not in tandem with the clear provision of the Constitution. He is now using the councillors,
yes,
to impeach the local government chairman. And of course, for there to be impeachment is a way of checks and balances.
Yes.
That is used to control the excessive powers of those in authority. And it's not meant to be used to,
as an instrument
of operation.
Political weapon.
Yes, like what happened in Ajoko and Adeleke.
Yes.
Where Governor Ladoja then, 18 members of the Oyo State House Assembly met in a hotel and purportedly took steps to impeach him.
Yeah.
And Supreme Court said, no, that was wrong. Because his political godfather, Lamidi Adedibu, had disagreement with him.
Yes.
And that's also played out in Plateau State in case of Diary. Now, in Edo State,
yes,
the governor is not happy with local government chairman. And that is not a reason for them to be removed.
Well, you remember that the local government that you are talking about was put in place by the previous governor.
Yes.
And of course, since there is the new sheriff in town,
yes,
maybe the governor is looking at it that I can't work with this man.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, the proper step should have been taken. And the proper step is that obviously he has a problem on his hand. Because this particular local government were democratically elected.
Yes. Whether he likes them or not, it is immaterial.
Obviously.
What is important is the Constitution has been complied with. And what does the Constitution say? That there must be democratically elected local government chairmen. And they're already in place. There are people that may not like the governor. Yes. But because he has been elected, he must be there unless he comes breach of the Constitution that may warrant impeachment.
Gross misconduct.
Yes.
Unless there is evidence of
gross misconduct.
Yes.
Which has to be established.
Yes.
So it is not within the whims and caprices of the governor to say that these people are not loyal to him. He does not want them. That is not.
He has to.
The same Constitution that put him in place.
Also
It's the same constitution that put the local government chairman in place.
That is correct.
And now the local government chairman went to court, and the matter is
and that is
in
the
court.
that I am more particular about.
The matter is in the court.
Why a governor would decide to violate the order of the court? Why will a governor will take laws into his hand? A newly elected governor who needs the goodwill of the people of the state. I think that Governor Monday Okpebholo should be careful of the way he's exercising his executive powers. If there is a matter in court, he should await the decision of that court.
Yes.
Not take laws into his hands.
The whole drama appears to be attempts to emasculate democracy and rule of law.
Obviously.
Because whether the local government chairman are people that he wants or loyal, it is not material. What is material is that they are there, and they are to follow the exact law.
Obviously. Not
to dance to his tune or bow to him. Now that the court has said no, the court stopped the governor and his clique, because those state house of assembly that initiated the process, the suspension and all that, and the court said no, hold it there. And then they now went to use the councillors to achieve their aim by trying to impeach. And then the world will want to know what are the serious misconducts, grievous misconducts that the chairman have committed that will warrant their impeachment. And then have they followed the due process?
Obviously not. Now, I think the governor is trying to set his state ablaze. If you ask me, I hope he does not take the same route in all other local governments, because if he tries to now, like you use the word you use, emasculate or try to kill the local government structure in the state, he's going to bounce back on his government, because as a governor, you are liable and responsible to the people. And the closest government to the people is the local government of your state.
Yes.
So if the governor decides to destabilize the entire local government system in his own state, I wonder what is going to be ruling over. So I think the governor should have a rethink. Okay? And his function as a governor is for the people of the state. And the local government that are in place, constitutionally elected local government, are also for the people of the state.
Yes.
So, and I think you should allow them to operate. You should allow them to operate. When their tenure expires, new elections can be conducted. Then you can now put in your own rookies or your own persons into the local government system, if you are able to win election in those areas. So the ball still falls on the people to elect whoever they want. And since the people have elected the chairman of the various council that they wanted, I don't think the governor should interfere.
Yes. And now, what do you think is the solution to this drama going on in Edo State?
It's a little bit too difficult to speculate what will be the outcome of it, because of course there will be resistance. You know that most of these local governments you are talking about are manned by people from the PDP.
Yes.
You know, who were allegiance to the previous government.
Yes.
Peradventure, the governor didn't think about it, you know, in the last election. Maybe they will have been able to plan ahead and see how they can make friends with some of these local government, or how they can encourage them to come into their party, okay, as a way of leveraging some of the threats that are perceived by the governor from the continuous existence of the local government system by people from other political party, from another political party. But that, having not put that in place, there's nothing else the governor can do except to work with these people. And I think the governor needs to realize that now, because if he doesn't, what he will be introducing in that state will be anarchy, and there will be resistance. I can assure you there will be resistance.
You see, do you think that the weapon of impeachment is being abused in Nigerian political?
Now, in the entire political system of the country, of course, yes. You know, you and I know that that it has become the weapon of politicians. Impeachment,
yes.
Especially when you are not satisfying the aspirations or the whims of certain money bags or certain political elements, maybe godfathers and all of that. You get into trouble with impeachment, and we have seen examples of evil political godfathers of a governor.
Yes.
Arranging the impeachment of those governors.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen that.
But I think in all of these things, the responsibility still lies with the judiciary. If we had a very active judiciary, a judiciary that knows its onion, yes. I think some of these matters will have been able to be tackled. Most of the cases that come up for impeachment, you find that the courts do not have the willpower, okay, to even look at it, to even consider what constitutes gross misconduct. Most of the time, some of the allegations that are raised against governor, most of the time they are flimsy allegations.
Spurious allegations.
Yes. That should not constitute that heavy element that the law requires, yes. Which is gross
misconduct. Yes.
It's not just an ordinary misconduct.
Yes.
It's not every misconduct that constitutes gross misconduct.
Yes.
It's the weighty and the grave misconduct.
Yes.
That's what the law has in mind.
Yes.
But you find all kinds of administrative issues, disagreement being played up as gross misconduct.
Yes.
You can see what is happening even in Rivers State.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Okay. The non-responsiveness of the governor to his godfather is even seen now as gross misconduct for the possibility of impeaching even the governor of Rivers State. So all of this tragedy of errors are things that we need to curb if our democracy will truly be respected.
Do you think that what the governor of Edo State has done, itself constitutes an impeachable offense?
It is. It is an impeachable offense.
Yes.
Because what he's trying to do is to disrupt the process of governance in the state and to introduce anarchy into the state.
Yes. I agree with it because the constitutional experts, Professor Brian Webeze, he tried to, constitutional law in Nigeria, try to give an insight into what constitutes misconduct.
Yes.
Serious misconduct. And it said that where there is a violation of the constitution.
Yes, a constitutional provision.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yes. It amounts to
violation.
A violation that amounts to misconduct.
Yes.
That's impeachable.
Yes.
Or where there is a commission of criminal offense.
Yes.
That also constitutes a misconduct or such other conduct that is incompatible with the oath of office of the occupier of that executive office. And with that in mind, in America, we have seen that they practice democracy for years. We borrowed a pattern from US, but you know that it's only one instance of impeachment that happened in the history of the United States of America. And that happened in 1868.
Yes.
The second one was that of Richard Nixon.
Yes.
But Nixon resigned before he was he was impeached. Yes. And since then they have not worded it because it must be based on facts, verifiable facts, that with evidence that the occupier of that office has committed what amounts to gross misconduct. But in Nigeria, where there is a political godfather, and he believes that his political godson is not dancing to his tune, he sets up the process of impeachment, and that set a motion a spree of impeachment, which is a clear dent on our democracy.
Yes, I think it's the biggest threat we have to democracy today. Obviously, if you like, what constitutes misconduct, gross misconduct, should be something that is reprehensible.
Yes.
Something that is weighty enough.
Yes.
And very fundamental.
Yes.
To the good governance of a state.
Yes.
Where a governor willfully and deliberately decide to commit crime.
Yes.
Like you have said.
Yes.
It will constitute gross misconduct.
Yes.
There have been attempts in America to use sexual immorality.
Harassment.
Or sexual harassment and all of that. But it has failed most of the time.
Yes.
Because most times it's regarded as something that is not an action that is not committed in the line of duty
Yes.
of that
In
president,
relation to the office
his
of
own
the occupier of
office
that office.
or his responsibility
Yes.
of governance.
Yes.
Okay, and that to that extent, there had been an attempt to shield even the office holder from things like sexual obscenity, sexual immorality, and all of that.
Yes.
As a personal issue,
Yes.
you know, involving the office holder. But in Nigeria, we find that most of the issues that are raised are issues that should not even be regarded as gross misconduct. And I think that's why our democracy seems to be different from what you have in most other countries of the world. And we seem to value what they call the Nigerian factor. I don't know how we came to this point where we just regard something that is anomalous, something that is obnoxious as a norm. We now develop our norm along a track that is completely obnoxious.
And then the other aspect of it is the governor, after the actions he took, and the aggrieved parties proceeded to court. And the court is the last hope of the common man.
Yes.
That has been the aphorism.
Yes.
And they went to court, and the court has given an order. Now, is it proper in the circumstances for the governor and his cohorts to defy the court order by going through another way to achieve the same result when once a case is pending in court?
Yeah, as we have said
the
earlier,
parties are bound to await the adjudication by the court.
as we have said earlier, that itself is an impeachable offense.
Yes.
Obviously, that itself is an impeachable offense, and the governor should restrain himself in abusing the use of his executive powers, because a governor is not supposed to do an illegality.
Yes.
A governor, the reason why he's voted is not to commit offenses against the state or against the people.
Yes.
All right, it's not to thwart the process of democracy.
Yes.
Is not to follow his own personal whims at the expense of what the law says. So the governor of Edo State should be careful, and I think those who are his handlers should also advise him, because we know that there are people who are also his handlers.
Yes.
Sorry to use that word, but that is the truth. So those who are the handlers of the governor should also warn him about the misuse of his political powers. In fact, what he's even doing is he doesn't even have the power. We can't even talk about misuse of political power or misuse of or abuse of office. Well, because he has no power
Over the local
government.
Yes.
So it's even an anomaly to say
it's an aberration.
Yes, to say he's misusing executive power, because he has no such power to even do what he's doing.
Yes.
So, and I think the governor should warn himself. He should allow the local government system in Edo State to work. It is to his own benefit and to the benefit of the people of Edo State.
Yes.
So that the dividend of democracy can be given to the people of Edo State. He has his own part to play as a governor. The local government chairman to have their own part to play.
Now, what
welfare of the people?
Yes, what do you think the affected local government chairman ought to do? 2 of them have already been impeached. They are still proceeding against the remaining 16.
They should proceed against
to impeach them. What do you think should be their...
They should go to the courts for
yes.
proper interpretation of the powers of the council vis-a-vis the event. Whether the governor can interfere in the affairs of the local government.
And whether the proper procedure has been... Yes, because one thing about impeachment is that it is a process that is detailed, is rigorous, to ensure there is no abuse by cabals or few individuals who have political aim to achieve. And that's why in Nigeria a lot of impeachment processes failed.
Yes.
Because the court have said no, that we do not see any reason to constitute impeachable offense or misconduct.
If I might bring us to remembrance, we have a very classic case in the struggle between the political struggle between Obaseki, the former governor,
yes,
and his deputy.
Yes.
You know, you saw what happened in the course of the impeachment.
Yes.
How the governor hurriedly organized an impeachment
of
his own deputy.
Yes.
And how ventilating it, the deputy went before the court.
Yes.
And the court said, what, the allegations are not impeachable.
Yes, yes.
And it was set aside.
Yes.
You know, so I believe that our courts, if they wake up to their responsibility, some of these issues can be, it's just that the will of the judiciary grows slowly,
Yes.
but steadily.
Yes.
And if the court can adjudicate, I think the court is the last solution to this problem.
Yes.
The court should be able to tell us whether the offenses or the allegations against those local government chairmen are impeachable. They consider gross misconduct.
Yes, that is to say that the affected local government chairman
Should
proceed to the court.
Yeah, yeah.
And let the court interpret and come to a conclusion one way or the other on what is playing out in Edo State.
Yes, I think that should be the way to go. I know that politicians being what they are, they may not want to follow that trend. I foresee the impeached governor, the impeached local government taking to self-help by blocking and closing the house of the council itself or dislodging the council. And that will be further anarchy. So
but that will be wrong.
Obviously, it will be.
It is better to follow the due process.
Yes.
And like you said, since they've already gone to court before now, and they had an order of court in their favor, it is still better to still resort to the court.
Yes.
Because blocking the local government headquarters or those things are lawless, which of course we don't endorse.
But we have had an example of it in Rivers State. You saw what happened in Rivers State.
Yes.
Where all the local government were shut down and taken over by the police.
Yes.
And all of that.
In a rare display of naked power that is condemnable. Yes. We don't want crisis in Edo State because we have seen that in Rivers, they've had enough of crisis. And in Edo State, there's no need for crisis. And the best way to avoid crisis is to follow the due process.
Obviously.
And follow the due process in this instance is, since they've gone to court and the court has said, hold it there. Let all the parties shield their sword and let the court adjudicate on it.